But we started the program with no funding, with 5 instructors. We started initially with 10 students. We currently have 38 students who are first-time students who had never played musical instruments. Now we have a waiting list. We also have 3 other HISD schools that are hoping that we will be able to start with a program with them on next fall when school starts back. So we're really happy and excited about what's been happening. One of the things that I'll share with you, I'm a talker, I'm a pastor, you guys, so I'm a talker. So one of the things I'll share with you is that we also offered homework assistance. So when Lloyd's teaching one group of kids, the other group of scholars, should I say, is having homework assistance. So we have these retired teachers and interns from the Perkins School of Theology and a couple other people that are working with us. And so they do homework assistance. So we've been blessed and wonderfully blessed to receive scholarships and grants from various organizations to be able to fund the program. But we continue to look for funding for the program. Young Audiences of Houston has joined us. They wrote a grant. They came in, they saw our program. They were much pleased with our program. So now we not only do we have music, but we have dance for the students there, as well as arts. So we're really, really happy about that. And the plus thing about it is we've learned that the students' grades have increased, some of them by 40%, their math scores and their science scores. And so we began to do our research and find out the correlation between music and math and science. And we have been totally pleased and happy with the outcome of the Music Academy. So I'll be quiet at this time and I'll let Lloyd speak to you with reference to his journey there. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Lloyd Hughes, and I am pleased to be here working with Boynton Chapel Church and their music program. It's just, I can't say, my passion for the kids there and how well they're doing. We're working with kids that haven't been exposed or don't have exposed to the arts and music. And with the people that we're working with that introduced me to Pastor Davis, Miss Gray, it's just been a whirlwind ever since. She's a go-getter and she goes out and finds out what we need. Right now, we have students playing trombone, violin, trumpet, clarinet, percussion, the snare and the bells, and piano and guitar. We've had a couple of others, bass, and because of moving around and stuff, we've changed a few kids, but we're offering that, and we also are just working with them, and they're doing a fantastic job for just being able to play every evening just after school. I wish they had horns at home, but when we're there, we're strictly working, and they've been making a lot of progress. I have a few that the little violinist, I'm just like, wow, she is listening, she's paying attention. Guitars, they're just making me very happy with what they're accomplishing. And with the people that we're working with, the other helpers from Boynton's Church, it's been fantastic. They've been right there, hey, support. And I also want to let you know that I have one of my former students, Brett Cole. He just graduated from Loyola, and he said he wasn't doing anything. And I said, well, come on over here. And he was all good for it. I speak highly on him. He's there, and I hate we're going to lose him when he goes to work on his master's, but he came through Lovett Elementary, Johnston Middle School, and HSPVA. And I've worked with him during the summer jazz workshop, and he's just fantastic with the kids. He's fantastic. And with the kids that we're working together to give them, a love of music, appreciation of the music, and exposing the things that they wouldn't get exposed to. As I said earlier, I'm a product of HISD. I started in the Third Ward area, then moved around some. And from there, I went to Worthing High School. And from there on, I can remember back the days before I got to Worthing, what my thing was. I was a little off track. I was like, I come to school for lunch and band till I finally figured, wait a minute, this is fun, and then and it was great. And from there, I did the scholarship thing. I went to Grambling State University in Louisiana and got my bachelor's of education there, working with the program. And it's been really good. And I've done some performing with other people around the world. I think it's taken me at least to Mexico, Japan, Singapore, and Canada playing. And I don't think I would have going those places with playing because somebody's always paying for me to go then. I'm not doing that now, but then my story, when I started teaching, I said, I'm going to teach for 5 years. And I got to Parker Elementary. I said, this is not bad. I like it here, and I got to work with some fantastic people there. I had some fantastic administrators. I'm not sure if any of you been in there when Billy Reagan was the superintendent back in the days, and my music supervisor was Leslie Munson. And I guess what he did, when I graduated, I came down there. I guess he got tired of me coming down there knocking on the door. Hi, Mr. Munson, you got a job? Hi, Mr. Munson, you have a job? And one day he said, Lloyd, and he started knowing my name. I guess I was consistently coming down there every 3 weeks. I go knock on the door. How you doing? How you doing? Because, I don't have anything. And he sent me over to Parker Elementary, and my principal over there was Kay Striplin. And that's when they had the music library for HISD located at Parker Elementary. And I think it was Mr. Oldfield, Mrs. Oldfield. They had the library there, and they just took me in and worked with me. And they also knew that I was playing at different venues, and they would support me all. They would say, I would talk to Kay, and Kay would say, all right, we're gonna let you go at 2:00 so you can go and do this performance. And I was just so surprised because I said, well, no, I can't do this. I can't be playing anymore. And I think I told the mayor of Friendswood, I can't play. And next thing I know, the principal calling me to the office saying, you can go down. I guess the mayor called Kay Striplin, and she let me off to go play. And, they were really supportive of what I was doing. And same thing with me. I was supporting them because I loved what I was doing there. And when I got there, I was so surprised because Parker being the Music Academy, we had 9 full-time music teachers. And it was like, wow, I never knew this was going on. And it made me want to be there. And all the while there, I decided to stay there my whole 34 years of being an educator, because I figured I couldn't find any place that was better. Well, maybe been better places, but for me, it was great. And when I retired from there, I retired to just do more playing and stuff, and talking to different churches and Pastor Davis. It was, it was really nice. I always like to see something working with the kids and see them get something from it like I did. I was just like, wow. And it surprises me that sometimes I run into different kids, student people, and they say, you taught me back in this day and this. Of course, they were all small kids there. And here's the guy with this full beard. Hello, Mr. Hughes. I'm like, what? Okay. And they'll make me remember. It is just fantastic. And I actually go and hear some of my former students perform now. And some of them went on to do some fantastic things, and from Grammys to just being music directors and still playing like that. And with Boynton Chapel working with Blackshear Elementary, I'm hoping that some of the things that I got out of the music they can get for it's like the love, the passion, the love of the humanity. What we're here for, it's not just, you don't work to work, you work to enjoy life like that. And what I did, well, I guess I can show this now. Just a little video of just some of the stuff working with kids. You have to do your academics before you can do the extracurricular. And everybody here actually genuinely cares about how the kids are doing academically as well as musically. It's just just a little background things that I'm doing right now. Still working with different groups in the Conrad Johnson Youth Orchestra sometimes, the Greater St. Matthews Summer Jazz Summer Camp, and the Jazz Education Incorporated Summer Jazz Workshop. And Boynton's is right in there, right on the top, working with us there. I'll turn it back to Pastor Davis right now.
I would just share the story with you about how we became the Music Academy here at Boynton, how we started it. Boynton is in an underserved community. We're located in the greater historic Third Ward of Houston. We're 2 blocks from the University of Houston main campus. And there were a lot of students that were always asking if they could come into the building or come into the church because it's hot in the summertime and they wanted to be out and away from home. So we decided that after pulling together our security team and our safe sanctuary team, we decided to open up the church and allow the students to come in. On this one particular day, I let some students in. His name is Bryce. Let him in, and I come on back to my office and I'm working. And I hear this melodious sound on the piano. And I'm like, oh, it must be our minister of music. I need to run outside because there's some things that I need to share with him. And I go outside, go to the sanctuary, and I realized that it was Bryce. And I said, Bryce, is that you playing? And I said, I didn't know that you knew how to play. He was 15 years old at the time. I said, Bryce, I didn't know you knew how to play. He said, Pastor, I've been teaching myself how to play off of YouTube. That's why I want to come in on Sundays. So the wheels began to turn in my head, and I got really excited because I was like, that's one of the activities that we can have here at the church for our children and youth ministry. So I wrote a grant. I'm a grant writer, so I wrote a grant to Moody Foundation, the Permanent Endowment Fund, and Texas Methodist Foundation, which are both part of the United Methodist Church. We received those grants, and we started those grants started the program through those grants in 2018, February of 2018. So we had our program going on for about almost 2 years. And right before COVID hit, we had to stop, of course, you know that the reason why there. So after that, we wanted to start the program again. And then I met these wonderful ladies from St. Paul's United Methodist Church, Ordinary Women. And they asked me, Pastor Davis, what is your vision? So there's so many other things that we do, but one of the things that was really embedded into my spirit and into my heart was bringing back our Music Academy. So we brought the Music Academy back, Barbara Buckner and so many other members of St. Paul's Ordinary Women. They went out and started recruiting instruments. I mean, we got somebody bought us a tuba. He was a performing big old tuba. I'm like, this is for elementary kids. He said, oh, somebody will want to play it. So we had this big performance ready tuba. Now, I know nothing about music and musical instruments. I just know when I like good sound, So, I mean, we got instruments from all over, and we just thankful for everyone that donated the instruments. And then we started the program at Blackshear Elementary. So we've been having a wonderful opportunity to share such a beautiful gift, a beautiful art of playing musical instruments with students who have never ever had an opportunity to play a musical instrument. So I'm just excited about what we're doing in the life of Blackshear Elementary and Boynton United Methodist Church. I'll turn you back over to Deborah.
Thank you so much, Pastor Davis and Mr. Hughes. There was a Miss Hughes in my life it was Johnson Middle School, and it was actually Johnson Junior High when I was there. And several of the musicians in that orchestra became professional musicians, and she was tough, but we feared her. But the trumpet player, who she was always getting after, won an Emmy for. He's a composer and producer, so it paid off. All of that. And then Mr. Munson was my orchestra leader at Westbury High School. So I was so wonderful. We remember when he went off to HISD, and he actually attended one of our reunions a few years before he passed, and we just all revered him. So the music teachers have an enormous impression on us musicians, and we couldn't do it. Music takes so long to learn. You really need that teaching at the school age. And before I open up for other questions, we always like to ask people who are presenting this year how they came to what they do. So Pastor Davis, you mentioned something in school which I kind of see as leading to what you do now, very possibly.
I am a second career pastor. My background is labor and employment law, had been in labor and employment law as a legal administrator, opening up offices for a international law firm across the country. I knew that God had a special calling on my life when I was 12 years old. Grew up in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and I knew that there was something special about what God was calling me to do. I initially started school when I graduated from high school. I was going to be a social worker. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Then I decided that I wanted to be in a public and accountant. And as you can tell, I am a talker. So I was like, doing accounting is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to talk to many people throughout the day. So I better go back and do something else. So I decided that once I graduated, I have an MBA in business administration, and in the midst of working at the law firm downtown, when I graduated, I heard the Spirit of the Lord say to me, yes, I'll let you do that, but that's not what I've called you to do. So I'm real feisty, and I told God, I said, hey, if you want me to go to seminary, you're going to have to work it out. You're going to have to figure it out, because the place that I have to go to is Perkins School of Theology, which is located on the campus of Southern Methodist University. So I said, if you want me to go, now this is May, I graduated, and all paperwork had to be in by July, and I was hoping to start in August. I said, you're going to have to let my boss give me 1 day a week off for 5 years. And lo and behold, I walked into his office on that Monday morning. I said, hey, I need 1 day a week off for 5 years. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I want to go to seminary. And just so happened that he was talking to the managing shareholder of the law firm, which was housed in Greenville, South Carolina. And he said, you can't believe what Linda's asking me. She wants 1 day a week off so that she could go to seminary. And the managing shareholder said, give it to her, let her have it. So I took off 1 day a week for 5 years to attend Perkins School of Theology. And I graduated with my Master's of Divinity degree there. And I started pastoring as an associate pastor in 2011. So I am a second career pastor. I am just now in my 10th year, 11th year of being ordained as an elder in the United Methodist Church. So that's kind of how I started. So when I think about what I do and my passion and my love, I know that this is where God had put me for such a time as this. So I'm happy to be serving the people in the community of Third Ward.
Well, thanks for that story. You did mention something earlier, which I think is, Pastor Davis mentioned she wished she had studied music, but she became a cheerleader instead. But I tell you, coming from the nerd end of school, we understand that the cheerleaders, it applies to what you do, is your ability to inspire others, to be extroverted. And I don't think that ended up being a bad decision. I think that was an excellent decision. And it does not seem at all to me like it's not a straight line from cheerleading to leading a congregation. So I think that ended up serving you well. I'm sure your relationships with the students translated to what you do now also. And
Yes.
and could I ask Mr. Hughes how he came to music, and how early did you start? How long does it take for someone to become a saxophone player? Can they start maybe middle school age?
I did start in middle school. I started at on Belford Street here in Houston, a place called Crispus Attucks. It was junior high school then. And I saw actually one of my older brother's friends was playing the saxophone, and he was playing, and Pastor Davis, he was playing Oh Happy Day. And I said, oh, I like that. And I kept asking my mom. It took me a year to get a saxophone from her. She thought I was, I guess, kidding. I would always be the wordsome little guy saying, I want to play sax. I want to tap on her shoulder. I want to play sax. And she finally, she got a account somewhere and got me a saxophone. And I started playing, and I enjoyed it. But I think when I got to probably 11th grade, I started saying, I can do this, I can have fun with it. I enjoyed it because all my friends happened to be musicians. I guess I put the basketball down and started saying, well, I like to play this and stuff. And I started playing and hanging out with the other guys. And I would ask them, how would you do this? How you do that? How do you do that? And then I said, okay. Then I went to my first few concerts. They were, of course, R&B concerts and jazz concerts. I said, oh, I like that. I like that. And then I started just asking questions with people, and they were open to, they were like, get away from me, quit bothering me. They were like, okay, sure. You got to do this. You got to do that. And the band directors I had were, they were real supportive and stuff. The guy that first started me was Walter Kay, and then a Mr. Harold Sargent. And then when I got to high school, they had these Cashmere stage band, Conrad Johnson playing everywhere. And I would go over there. And even though I graduated high school, I never went to Cashmere. I would go by, he would say, come by my house. He would just be open for just me coming by his house in Third Ward. Even though I had nothing to do with him, I guess I was just worrying him to death. And me and the friends of mine went to, one of the older guys went to a place in Louisiana, Grambling State University. And I knew nothing about Grambling. I just knew every time we turned around, they were going somewhere. Where they at? Oh, they're in Hawaii. They're in Africa. They're in this and that. And me and three friends of mine, all in the band, say, we're going to Grambling. We went down there and we found out we were playing, but they were serious. We got down there and it was like, I think it was like they were big on marching because they would go everywhere. This was before they had Super Bowl, all these big Super Bowl extravaganza. What they would do, they would call Grambling. We would be going everywhere, and NFL and different car companies, they would pay, and they were very serious. I had to change my attitude toward, just being okay to have to, I got to work. I got to do this because I go down here, I might be okay, like in the top 5 at this place, but I go down here, I way down number 40. I need to put in some work, and it got to be a great thing because I met some wonderful people there. And my applied teacher, he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot. I went there thinking I knew this much, but I found out I knew nothing, well, nothing like what he, and he worked with me and he still, even after I graduated, he would still call me and stuff. And I still know I'm still studying, but it was just an experience for me. And it took like that. And I actually went to school. I thought I was going to be a lawyer. Then I kept going to concerts. I said, man, I like this. If I want to be a lawyer, I'm gonna have to give up playing. So I said, I'm going to stay playing. And that's the way I started saying, well, I'm going to do this and do that. But I never did do the thing like I have to play in certain places. I just wanted to do it and enjoy it because I figured, hey, I'm going to teach, and teaching was going to be like my cushion. But I flipped a little bit that teaching starting to be the main thing, and I liked it. And that's how I ended up going to this. And all during the time I was playing, I had great administrators too, and they would let me go out and do actually short tours. I would play with people. I don't know, I got with this group called the Manhattans. I go out and do something with them. I go out and do something with Roy Ayers, the jazz vibe. I just happen, somebody would call me and I say, well, let me check and see if I can go. It would be short things like for a week or 2 weeks. Or here, okay, they're doing a cruise here and we're going here and we're going to take all these people here and you can go. I said, I can, but I was very fortunate to have the administrators that I had, and they didn't hold it against me, but whenever they needed something, I was happy to do whatever I could to make our program work. And that's how I ended up here with Miss Gray, and moving on, Miss Gray introduced me to Pastor Davis.
Lloyd, you play the sax so well, but you're teaching all these other students. How many instruments do you play?
I play a lot of instruments a little bit, but I play saxophone, flute, and then clarinet are my first saxophone, then flute, then clarinet. And then I have this piano I bought back here trying to learn it, but I'm just still fooling around with it. I play a lot, like for the instrumental classes I took. But once I get them to a certain level, once they really get serious, then I'll move them on to somebody else.
If somebody wanted to make a donation to the Music Academy, is there a link that can be put up?
I'll put it in the chat, but you will make your donation to Boynton Chapel, United Methodist Church. So I will put it in the chat, and I will also send our email to Deborah, and I'm sorry, our address to Deborah, and she will be able to get that information to you guys as well. But right now, I'll put it in the chat.
And I want to thank Barbara Buckner. She actually contacted me, I don't know how long ago, and asked about getting instruments. And, you know, she didn't give me all the details, but I taught private clarinet lessons for some while down in a number of years in Galena Park at North Shore High School. And it was a different cross section. This was primarily Hispanic, but many, many, many very needy students, needy families. The average income was very low. And I was amazed at the band directors there who, the high school band is a huge school, 5,000 kids almost, but the high school band was the place to be for the academics and everything else. And they actually won Outstanding Band and went to Chicago. And these guys, and I know Lloyd and Linda are like this too, they would be there. So what, they get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and they would still be there when I left at 6 or so at night, almost every night, working with kids individually. So it is just, but what was amazing was how well the kids did. Even with, I mean, I used to joke that they would come to the lessons with Band-Aids on their clarinets because they couldn't afford decent instruments. So anyhow, but thank you guys. I'm very impressive, very, very impressive.
And I'm going to ask Susan Fishman to introduce the next video, which is some very young people playing from our competition for piano prodigies.
A week ago Sunday, we were, a Houston 2C Musical Club was invited to be part of St. Philip Presbyterian Church's concert series. And this is, I think, the third time we've done this. We present the winners of our children's piano competition. And Linda and Lloyd, just to introduce you to that, we are in our 18th year of that competition. And these are children from ages 6 through 9 on piano only. And the competition was begun, and it was funded by, or mostly funded by, the Cahan family, whose Rochelle Cahan was at one time president of Houston 2C Music Club. And after her untimely passing, her family wanted to do something in her honor. And Rochelle was a piano prodigy. So it was decided to have this competition, and this is the 18th year. So the videos that you're about to see are two of the winners from this year, from this concert. The first and second place winner. The second place winner will play first place winner will play second. And I'd like to read you something about them, because children don't usually have a resume, but these two do. So I want you to know a little bit about them before you hear them. So the young man that you'll hear first is our second prize winner, Julian James. And as I said, at the age of 7, he already has a resume which might be coveted by much older people. So here it is. Julian James is 7 years old in grade 2. He's been playing piano for more than 3 years now. He won the 3rd prize of the HEO International Piano Competition when he was 6 years old, and a silver medal of Houston Music Teachers Contest at 7. He also plays flute, cello, and drums. Julian enjoys creating his own music. In his free time, he likes swimming, playing Legos, drawing, playing chess, and traveling the world. He wants to become either an astronaut, a scientist, or a race car rocket designer when he grows up. Julian is bilingual and speaks both English and Chinese. And Julian's piano teacher is Jing Han. And what he will perform will be the Gypsy Rondo by Franz Haydn. The second video you'll see is our first prize winner, Olivia Hay. And she will perform the Fantasy Impromptu by Frédéric Chopin. Olivia is 9 years old and is a student of Dr. Matthew Loudermilk. And here is something about Olivia. She is currently a third grade student at the STEM Magnet Academy at Stafford MSD. She began studying piano when she was 4 years old and has always been passionate about music and playing piano. She was a silver medalist in the 2020 Houston Music Teachers Association piano contest. She has participated in numerous recitals and school performances. Throughout the COVID pandemic, she volunteered with the Music of Harmony, which is another children's arts group, their monthly concert series virtually. In addition to playing piano, Olivia loves dancing and reading. She also speaks 3 languages, English, Mandarin, and Spanish. So, although we don't teach these children, Houston Musical Club is very big on encouraging children. And through this competition, we hope to do so. And some of our former winners have gone on to amazing careers themselves, playing with orchestras, and then just a little bit about our collegiate age competition, which we have on a 3-year basis. These are for emerging artists. So I would love for you to enjoy these 2 young people. They were spectacular, and here they are.
What a great program this has been, and I want to thank Gail and Debbie again and Barbara for arranging all of this so we can find out some other things going on in our community. Linda and Lloyd, it's just amazing the work that you have done, and we look forward to seeing it grow and to reach more people. We all know what great things music can mean in people's lives, and sometimes we forget to spread it around. So we're glad that we can do that, and that you are doing that. And it's just amazing that kids can grab onto this, and it really changes their lives in many ways.